I moved to Winter Haven to be with my twin sister. And I had left the local church that I was in, and I felt sad that I was leaving. But when I think about it, I've been in many, many denominations, in and out, and the local church was the last church that I was in. And one evening, I just decided to go to God. For no reason at all, I just went to God in prayer and asked Him that I wanted the truth, no matter what it takes. Well, I said this 3 different times, 3 different days. And then one night I was ready to retire when the doorbell rang and my twin said, "Your daughter's here." And I says, "My daughter? Which one?" And she said, "Lou." So anyway, I went to greet her and came back, and I saw her, she was all covered differently.
I'm an American citizen, born in a suburb of Chicago, Illinois called Evergreen Park. And both of my parents were born in Chicago, Illinois. My mother's side of the family was Roman Catholic, my father's side Protestant.
I had mentioned to my daughter, "Oh, Lou, I've been praying for the truth, no matter what it takes." And I said this 3 different times.
I returned to the United States and I went to my mother. I was praying constantly at my mother's house for guidance from God as to whether or not I should say anything to my mother about who I was or what I believed. I was praying actually to my God that if my mother's heart is ready to hear this information, then give me a sign. Let her come to me. If she comes to me and asks me, I will say something to her. Otherwise, I will remain silent. One afternoon, I was in the middle of my prayers. I was in prostration, and she walked into my bedroom and walked out.
Because I saw her kneeling that night, and she was prostrated. And that seemed strange to me.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, my mother came to me waking me up from sleep and asking me 2 specific questions. She said, "I'm so sorry to disturb you, but I just have to ask you 2 things. And I said, "Well, go ahead, Mom, what is it?" And she said to me,
"Are you still a Christian?
And what do you think about what the Christians teach regarding the Trinity? That God is 3 and 1 and 1 and 3. My response to my mother at that moment was, "Tonight, when your sister goes to sleep, I will be happy to sit with you and to explain to you who I am and why I am who I am."
And after my sister went to sleep, and she would share.
So at 12 o'clock that night, my mother's sister went to sleep, and Mom and I gathered around a small table in a breakfast nook of the kitchen. On top of the table, I had the Quran, the Bible, and my own personal study, handwritten study notebook. We sat and had a discussion for 2 hours, going back to our original beliefs and progressing through what we've always been taught, both in the Catholic Church, in the Protestant churches. And then I introduced Islam to my mother, the Quran, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we both completed this discussion, it was exactly 2 hours later, 2 o'clock in the morning. And my mother reached over on the table.
I picked up the Quran and held it to my face and kissed it. I stated, why hasn't anyone told us about this?
Why hasn't anyone told us about this?
Noor taught me how to pray, how to wash before prayer,
how to perform the correct body movements for ritual prayer, and encourage her to memorize the opening chapter or surah of the Quran, which is called the opening in Arabic, Al-Fatiha, and to memorize this in English.
In English and some in Arabic.
She was memorizing and working on memorizing this in English so that she would have a clear understanding of the meaning of her prayer first, and then gradually she progressed.
So then I continued with my reading and studying the Quran.
After I completed my mother in her house and I felt comfortable that she was fine, I left my mother's home to take care of some personal matters of myself.
I've been in Islam for many years, reading and studying and praying. And then one night, Allah guided me to an ayat and a surah, and it mentioned this day. I have perfected your religion.
اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. فمن اضطر في مخمصة غير متجانف لإثم فإن الله غفور رحيم.
Praise Allah.
Go the extra mile.